Okay, so I decided that, Von, greetings. I am going to teach this particular session that I mentioned during the 3-day, events that we had last week. And I was not going to teach it in the free live session. I'll teach it in the subscription only. Ancestral money ritual. Ancestral money ritual. Now, first and foremost, let's look at something. There is a concept called neuroplasticity. Neuroplasticity. I'm sure some of you know about it. Neuroplasticity is the brain's ability to change and adapt by forming new neural connections throughout life. Your brain, this is what allows you to learn new skills, to adapt to new experiences. This is what even allows you to recover from injuries. This is what enhances your creativity. Some medical research have linked this to your mitochondrial gene, the gene that you get only from your mother, the powerhouses of your cell. The part of your system that helps you to come up with creative ideas and solutions to complex problems. You know, your brain consists of billions of neurons. And these neurons transmit signals. This is the whole concept of tricking and treating your brain. I don't know if you know about how to trick and treat your brain. Because when you learn when you learn something new, when you learn a new experience, you introduce yourself to a new thing. This is introduced to your brain. Your brain accepts it. The neurons in your brain, they accept this new experience. And for a lot of people, over the years, the activities that they have engaged in, the conversations they have engaged in, those conversations and activities, they've gone through the channel signals into their brain, the neurons in their brain. And unfortunately, those activities, those engagements, those interactions, they are not empowering activities and interactions. So one of the things that is used to help people reprogram their mind is to introduce programs, activities, skills, experiences that enhance a particular aspect of their existence. And that's why that's why rituals are very, very effective. Because when you engage a particular ritual, your brain tries to adapt to it, like, okay, oh, she is making affirmations now about abundance. Wow. This is a new information. Okay, let me see what I can do with this new information. Let me adapt to this new information. Oh, she's learning a new skill. Let me adapt to this new information. Oh, she's learning a new language. Oh, I need to get to work. I need to help her. New connections in your brain. That's the purpose of neuroplasticity. That's how powerful your brain is. These are the activities that promote neural growth. Oh, she's beginning to work out. She's exercising. He's exercising. Oh, he's doing yoga. He's meditating. All these activities stimulate the release of growth factors. And these growth factors, they promote your neural growth. They strengthen your neurons, right? That's what happens. They strengthen your neurons. That's it. So you're not just doing rituals for the purpose of doing rituals. You're doing rituals so that your brain can receive new signals and experiences. Because your brain is not just an organ of tissues. Your brain is an occult organ. Your brain is an asset in your spiritual estate. A lot of people have been trained not to use their brain, and this is where the real problem is. Especially Africans, Nigerians. When you want to deal with God, you don't use your brain. So we have been taught and trained that spirituality is the passiveness of your brain. That a spiritual person is someone who cannot use their brain. Because when it comes to spirituality, your brain is not needed. No, but when it comes to spirituality, at the center of your spirituality is your brain. So when we talk about ancestral money ritual, we are talking about a practice that honors your ancestors. A practice that helps you to clear generational poverty cycles. That's what it does. So you can introduce new programs, a new experience into your neurons. That's what you are doing. You are inviting financial blessings, and your brain, the neurons in your brain, they are receiving this information and this program. Now, please understand something. I want to go straight to it. And if you have a pen or a notebook, write down. But I'm making sure that this is recorded. So we're going to send the recording to the subscriber-only platform on TikTok. Right. Before you start any ritual, please understand that rituals are not excuses. You don't use ritual to escape the things you are meant to do. Rituals enhance your growth. Rituals are like catalysts. So you don't say because I've done a ritual, then I won't do anything again. No, that's not the purpose of rituals. Like I said, when you engage in rituals, you are introducing new experiences, new programs to your neurons. Exactly. Ayo, you have said it. Rituals create a sense of control. It's the first step in your sense of taking action. The moment you do a ritual, you are like, your brain receives it like, she is ready for something. She is introducing something new, and we need to, get to work and help her. So the first thing when it comes to any ritual, whether it's ancestral money ritual or any type of ritual, cord cutting ritual, whatever ritual you are engaging in, you must do a ritual bath to start. And you must do a ritual bath when you finish, because there is the opening of a ritual and there is the closing of the ritual. Excuse me. Now, the mistake a lot of people make is they open a ritual, they don't close it. And sometimes that can result in a lot of, because this is energy work. Rituals are energy work. When you are doing a ritual, you are actually doing energy work. It's energy. So when you open, you must close when you are done. So for any ritual at all, whatever ritual it is, you must do a ritual bath when you start. And when you close, you must do another ritual bath. And ancestral money rituals are best done on the day you were born. The day of the week you were born, that's the day you do ancestral money ritual. If you were born on a Monday, that's the day. You were born on a Tuesday, that's the day. And can I be honest with you? To make a ritual more effective, if it is your first time, do it 9 days. The law of reinforcement. If it's your first time doing a ritual, repeat it 9 days or 9 nights. You are invoking the law of repetition. Because your first time doing a ritual is different from your second time. Your first time doing a ritual simply means that you are laying the foundation. When you want to build, building is different from renovation. Yeah, your day of birth, the day you were born is the day. If you want to carry out an effective ritual, start on the day of the week that you were born. One second. Start on the day that you were born, guys. Okay. All right. 9 nights consecutively, yes. 9 nights consecutively. So the first step is this, step by step. No, you are not late, Ada. Don't worry, you're not late. And the session is recorded, so we're going to send it to you. Like I said, please follow the instruction. For any ritual you want to do, you must start with a ritual bath and you must end with a ritual bath. Now, please understand that ritual bath is not just pouring water on your body. No. Ritual bath is not just mixing things in the water and pouring it on your body. No, ritual bath is more than that. Ritual bath is communicating with every parastatal of your human institution. Because whatever good you are going to carry out in your life, you need the parts of your body to carry out that good. You won't carry out any good in your life with your spirit. You will do it with your body. Yes, your spirit is at the center, but you are going to carry out the activities with your hand, with your eyes. If you have to walk to a place where there is financial opportunity, you won't disappear there. You have to walk there with your legs. Right. So what does that mean? It simply means that your legs must be ready to work with you. Your eyes must be ready to work with you. Your hands must be ready to work. So this is the purpose of ritual bath. Grand Rising, Mr. Abdulbari. Step by step ancestral money ritual. Now, if you practice this, diligently, you know what's going to happen to you? The parastatals of your human institution, beginning with your brain, your eyes, your hands, your legs, your mouth, the channels of those parastatals will open up. This morning I talked about channels of your spirit opening up for money. That's it. Now, this is one of the mistakes many people make. You actually think that none of your ancestors were rich. There is nobody that exists here on this earth that all of their ancestors were broke and busted. It's impossible. Even if it is one person in all of your generations, your last 50th generation, there was one person that manifested wealth. And if that person exists, it simply means that there is wealth in your genetic code. In your genetic code, there is wealth. The genetic code in your DNA, there is wealth. Because that's what you are tapping into. That's what you are tapping into. But a lot of people, you judge your family by your last two grandparents, your great-grandparents. Do you know if your great-great-great-grandparents were multi-millionaires? And yeah, so that's fantastic. Because you are tapping into that genetic code, right? Some of you, your great-great-great-grandfather or great-great-great-grandmother, they were the ones running the show, running the affairs in the whole city. But because maybe your own parents or your grandparents, something switched. So the ancestry, that's mutation, genetic mutation, right? Environmental factor, epigenesis, all these things affect your DNA, right? Somebody moved from one place to another and it affected the DNA algorithm, right? So it is impossible that in your ancestry, all of your ancestry, there is nobody who had money, who was living in abundance. It is impossible. That's the first thing that you must accept. That it is impossible. There must have been one person that was living in luxury. That person exists in your DNA. And that is the genetic code you are activating because it is in you. If it was there, if that person existed, it is in you. That's why a lot of people, there is somebody that said that he didn't even understand. Exactly. He didn't even understand why he was so bold. He could confront the system. But his father was timid, his grandfather was timid, until he discovered that one of his ancestors was actually a man that stood up to the king of the land. The king of the land was corrupt, and one of his ancestors was the one that was standing up. He was like a human rights activist, standing up to the king. And at some point, the king just left him because the king couldn't defeat him. They told that Abraham is not an ancestor. So you must get that fact right. That's why I said the other time last week, ancestral audits, ancestral investigation is crucial. Ancestral audit is crucial. Ancestral investigation is crucial. On this journey, you must. And Yaso is saying here that the history of his ancestors, he ran an ancestral audit and he is in love with his ancestors. That's what happens to you. The reason why many of you still demonize your ancestors is because you don't even know them. You only know Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. That's why you still think your ancestors were monkeys jumping from one tree to another, eating banana. That's why you think that the only thing about your ancestors was poverty, pain, and penury, and no. Study, do a research, do an audit. You will figure out things that will shock you. And the moment you find out, you have access to those informations, neuroplasticity kicks in. New experiences, new information is passed into your brain, and it activates the genetic code in your DNA. The legacy of every family is passed from one generation to another through storytelling. If you want to know your ancestors, go and ask stories about your family. Ask your parents, ask your uncles, ask your grandparents. It's a research. It's an audit that you do. Nobody can do it for you. You are the one that will do it by yourself. All this, let me read something for you. Let me show you something in Calabash. No, it doesn't work like that for ancestral audit. You have to, by yourself, intentionally run your ancestral investigation, because it holds the key to activating the genetic code in your DNA responsible for your prosperity. If you are lacking, if you are in scarcity, you can use ancestral money ritual to activate the genetic code in your DNA responsible for money manifestation and abundance. Because there is one person in your ancestry that was a multi-millionaire. The reason you think there is none is because of genetic mutation, environmental factor, all of those things that modify, negative modification of your DNA, of genetic code rather. There is a research that someone was telling me about rats. I can't remember how they described it. How environment can affect your DNA. The reason why many people they feel stuck, they are not taking any action, is because there was a mutation in your genetic code. In the genetic code of your father, your grandfather, people were rich and they were balling until it got to your grandfather. Then there was an environmental influence. There was a genetic mutation that took place. And then your grandfather was the one that caused this algorithm of poverty, and from him down to your father, and then it got to you. And then you think all of your ancestors have been poor, broke and busted. No. The first set of people to not be known and to struggle are my parents. My grandparents were notable, famous, powerful healers, real estate. My maternal grandfather's properties, Dangote bought some of them in Ogun State. They are still selling his land till date. He died in the mid-70s. They are still stealing his land till date. So the first poverty started with my own parents. My grandparents were not like that, because my parents started, they bought into too much religion and it confused their brain. This one is not, when you start ancestral audit, there's nothing like I'm disrespecting my parents. Call a spade, that's it. Because when I did my ancestral audit, I said, I couldn't have had this kind of grandparents. So what happened to my own parents? They were confused because they started chasing clouds. So what happened? They started chasing clouds. How could I have had a grandfather who everywhere he went with an entourage? How could I have had a grandfather who, on the market day, people will not go home. They will sleep in the market just because they want to hear him speak to everybody. And then he had a drum that he invented by himself. Only him could play the drum. And then I followed up by such parents. So they started their whole whatever. I don't know where they carried their problem from. They are the ones that started following the hand of the ancestry. My paternal grandfather was a healer. He was a man that was raising the dead with herbs. He would just take herbs and he was a midwife, if I can call him that. If a woman could not deliver, my paternal grandfather was the one they would carry the woman to, and he would deliver the child. When my brother traveled during our paternal ancestral audit, my brother was the one that did that side. I did for my maternal side. They carried my brother and were showing him lands. See, this one is your grandfather's land. My father never told us anything. Confused people. Confused parents are the reason why many of us are where we are. Cloud chasing. Calling himself Ebenezer. Confused Ebenezer. By ancestors, we mean both paternal and maternal. Yes. That's what we mean. That's what we mean, guys. Because there is a part, there is a terminology for that in when it comes to your DNA, where the integration of two DNAs together. That's why you are where you are. Yeah. That's why many of us are where we are today. This is the truth about generational curses. This is the reason for a lot of, energetic blockages. This is why many people can't take a bold step. Yet, their great-great-grandfather was a bold and courageous man. But their own father or mother, no. They are waiting for prophet to make a move before they make a move. They are waiting for Alpha Babalawo to make a move before. But their great-great-grandparents, they were game changers. Active, energetic people. Some of you are going to think that, why are they attacking my parents like this? It's DNA heredity. Polygenic traits in DNA. Many traits are influenced by combined effect of multiple genes. Your father and your mother, the DNA put together. So sometimes when you, and that's why the person you marry is very important. The person you marry is very important, because there are some things that they are not in your own ancestry, but you start seeing them in your children. Where did this thing come from? Check your husband. Check your wife. Why are my children behaving like they have mental problem? Check your husband or your wife, because in their ancestry they probably have mental problem. Genetic mutations. An ancestry was ruling, they were on top of the world until it got to a particular person. Right? Random genetic mutations can introduce new traits. They can introduce conditions that will persist in future generations. That is genetic mutation. This is not just, I'm not making things, this is biology. In fact, it's biology. So others say, this is suspicious. No, this is biology. So to all the atheists, people out there, environmental factors can cause genetic mutation. Currently in the northern part of Nigeria, there is something happened to the north because a lot of Igbos were living in the north, right? And because the Igbos are entrepreneurial in nature, it has influenced and affected the northerners now. That if you know how entrepreneurial the northerners are now, that's a genetic mutation. Environmental. Some people carried their DNA to someone else's and created an environment of entrepreneurship in those people's territory, and before you know it, those people too became entrepreneurial in nature. So now let's go to it. The first thing to do, step by step. Number one, you set your intention. Intention is the beginning of any ritual that you want to do. You set your intention. Be clear on what you want. What do you want from this ritual? The law of intention. What do you want? Do you want to break generational financial struggles? Do you want to ask for guidance and prosperity? Do you want to express gratitude for some of you? All you need to do is you are meant to do gratitude ritual for ancestral blessings, because someone like DJ Copy now, what is she going to break? What does she want to break? She is meant to just express gratitude. So people like Davido, their ancestral money ritual is to express gratitude for ancestral blessings. So if that is your own case too, All you do is express gratitude for ancestral blessings. But if not, you are meant to break generational financial struggles. Be specific. Be clear on what you want. Be clear on what you want. And this is a part of affirmation and declaration. I honor my ancestors. I honor my ancestors. I release all poverty ties and poverty cycles to my ancestors. I honor them, but I release poverty cycles. I disconnect from every poverty code in my genetic code. Abundance flows into my life. This is how you begin, with the law of intention. And this is not a ritual that you do with on seriousness. There must be a lot of dedication. And that's the beginning. Remember, I said that you would have had your ritual bath before you start this, right? And you would have also done this before you even start. You are meant to gather because there are materials you are going to use. It's always better not to combine rituals. It's always better to finish one a part. So let's say, for instance, you are doing a cord cutting ritual. Finish it, and then you can move to the next. Because rituals they have different purposes. So this is something you are even meant to do before you even do your ritual bath, and before you do the first thing, which I said, intention. You are meant to gather your ritual materials, because you always have ritual materials, of course. Ancestral money. That's one of them. The first one, ancestral money. Ancestral money. A paper, money, symbolic money, coins, whatever. You can go and print out dollars. You can use real money. It depends on you. You get a white candle for spiritual connection. It's symbolic. When you burn candles, you are creating an environment. That's what you are doing. A conducive environment for your ritual to be effective. You are saturating your environment. You are clearing the energy of your environment. So a white candle for spiritual connection, that's what white signifies. A green or gold candle for prosperity and abundance. Cowrie, exactly. Cowrie, you can use cowrie instead of money. You can use notes, you can use coins, depends on you. And then next, you need a bowl of water. Water. You are of water. You are of the water and of the spirit. A man must be born of water and of spirit. That's what it says. So you need a bowl of water, which symbolizes your ancestral presence, that your ancestors are with you. And this is very important. Your ancestors' photos. If you don't have their photos, you must write down their names. That's why you need to go and ask, what is the name of my grandfather? As many names as you can get them. And you must get incense, herbs, sage, frankincense, myrrh, palo santo, lemongrass. You must get all these things. Yes, see, listen, see, all those stuff that you are expecting somebody to do for you in the village, do it by yourself. I'm not saying people can't do stuff for you, but this kind of ritual, you are the one that will do it for yourself. And you're going to get a small plate, a bowl with food or drink, with honey, bread, fruits, because you're going to offer food to your ancestors. That's what they call it. Yes, you're going to offer offerings. It's an offering to the ancestors. You're not doing it from ignorance. You are doing it with knowledge, right? So you get all these materials, and then that's when you now switch to setting your intention. That's it. You have to set your intention. What is your intention? right? And of course, I expect that you would have a sacred space. Anywhere in your house can be a sacred space, as long as you don't have too many visitors or traffic in that particular corner of your house. In Feng Shui, the Chinese, they believe that every part of the house carries different energy. So there is a part of your house that you dedicate as a sacred corner, a sacred space, an altar. Some people call it a shrine. So you choose that quiet space where you're not going to be disturbed. That's where you set up. And your altar in your house is actually meant to be an ancestral altar. A table with item. That's what the Indians do. Every Indian have altars in their house, in their home. Yeah, every Indian, go to their homes. They have it. And then you light the candles and incense to invite positive energies, to clear your space. You light the candles. Listen, before you light a candle, you must own the candle. You must activate every item that you want to use. That's why you see, it's important to own. The plant I said you should plant for spring, you are meant to own it. You are meant to touch it, wet it, speak to it, interact with it. Because everything is an energy field vibrating a frequency. So you own your candle. You can own it tight with your hand. Breathe into it. Some people, you will write some things on it. That's how to own it. Because the fact that you paid for an item does not mean it is your own. You must own it after paying for it. And as you light your candles, you invite positive energies. Then you start calling on your ancestors. You sit in front of your altar. You do breath work. You take in breath, breathe in and breathe out, and call on your ancestors. It's very funny how people condemn calling on your ancestors. But one guy told a story. What was his name? Michael something. He's a pastor. He was giving one testimony. And he said, a big man of God somewhere was talking about how he was sleeping one night. And Apostle Paul came to him in the night. Apostle Paul came to him in his dream to teach him Bible. Apostle Paul, that according to Christians, died years ago. And when he was saying it, the whole church was saying, wow. But your own grandfather cannot come to you in your dream. It's evil. But Apostle Paul can come and see you in your dream. And you are shouting, wow, I want this experience. Buffoonery. I saw a vision. I see Elijah in the dream. But your own father you cannot call your own father, your own late mother. I thank you. How did they even know it was Apostle Paul? So Apostle Paul was teaching him Bible. And all the audience, they were shouting, oh God, I want this experience. Apostle Paul, come and teach me Bible in my dream. Apostle Paul that knows nothing about you. When you are meant to call your ancestors to come and teach you how they were trading and they were making millions, how they were commanding the weather to change, how they were appearing and disappearing, telepathic communication. You are meant to call them, come and teach me. So that's what you do. You call on your ancestors. You sit in front of your altar. You meditate. You visualize. I call upon my honored ancestors, known and unknown. Those people who walked before me, they paved the way for me. I honor them with love and gratitude. I ask for guidance. I ask for wisdom. I ask for blessings in my financial journey. Start calling their names. You start calling their names and acknowledging them. Those of my ancestors who never suffered financially, I call on them. My ancestors who overcame their struggles, who overcame financial struggles, I call upon them. My ancestors who had real estate, who had assets, my ancestors who were never defeated, I call upon them. That's what you do. You keep calling. If you know their names, call them by their name. I call Okoli, I call Chigoze, I call Abimbola, I call Lawal, I call their names. That's what you do at this stage. You call their names. You acknowledge them. The more you do that, you are activating something in your genetic code. You pour libations. Thank you very much. You pour libations as you call their name. Some of your ancestors, they were never defeated in battle. Some of your ancestors, they were the general that were leading an army to defeat a whole city. So their strength is in your genetic code. And then you take the ancestral money that you have. You hold it in your hand. This is the next stage now. Excuse me. And then you make another affirmation and declaration. I send this offering to my ancestors with honor, with love, with respect. Let this offering bring healing to my ancestral lineage. Let this offering open doors of abundance to everyone right now in my ancestral lineage. And then you burn the money. If you have a fireproof bowl, you burn the money. Or if you are outdoor, if you go to a bush to do this, fine. Let me tell you, I have people in Denmark, even white people in Denmark. They will go into the bush to go and do rituals. White people. So you burn the money in a fireproof bowl or outside, wherever. And you visualize financial blocks that are removed from your life completely. That's what you do. You have to add emotions to this. You have to generate the feelings of financial freedom while you do this. And then when you do that, you continue again by pouring libations. And then you offer the food. You know, you can use water as a libation. You can use wine, you can use alcohol on the ground or in the bowl. I offer this nourishment, this wine, in gratitude to all of you, my ancestors. I'm not alone. Bless my path with abundance. Bless my path with blessings. Bless my path with prosperity. Bless my path with creative wisdom. And you leave the food. Remember I said fruit, especially. Some of you use fruit. You leave the food on your altar overnight. If you are doing it outdoor, leave it there overnight. Then you dispose of it later, respectfully, to nature. You can go and dispose of it to a river. Dispose of it to land. But just dispose of it later. But you must leave it for a while before you dispose of it respectfully. That's what you do. And then what do you do next? You close the ritual with thanksgiving. The moment you do that, you dance, you sing, you thank your ancestors for their presence. You either extinguish, you sniff out the candle, or you allow it to burn out by itself completely. But safety precaution must be observed. It is better to let the candles and the incense burn out naturally whilst you observe safety precaution. I honor my lineage. I honor my ancestry. I walk in abundance. Generational wealth is my birthright. It is done. It is done. You keep giving thanks. It is done. It is done. It is done. This is the best time to carry out this ritual. Between the month of March and April, honestly. Your ancestors have been waiting for you to activate this code in your genetics. They've just been, this guy doesn't even know that there is something to leverage on in his DNA. How can he just be suffering like this? But the time has come to rewrite the ancestral algorithm. And after the ritual, manifestation kicks in. Pay attention to your dreams. Pay attention to signs. Pay attention to synchronicities. Your ancestors are going to send you messages. They are going to give you instructions. They are going to give you business ideas. They are going to inspire you to take some actions. So you have to pay attention. So it's not just, I have done ritual. Now I am, no. Exactly, you are collaborating. Now you are collaborating with your ancestral guides. You are no more alone. You are not the one working now. Exactly. See, Mr. Oluwaseun already is setting 9 days, Wednesday to next week, Thursday. Now he wants to set 9 days. But imagine you do this for 9 days. Tell me how you will not break into another realm of abundance. Then you start taking real world. Now that you know you are not alone, your ancestors are with you. You have the confidence to take real world actions toward financial growth. You pursue that business. You go for that meeting. That's what happens to you. There is this boldness that just comes upon you. And then this is how you service this ritual after that 9 days. During your power cycle, I'm going to teach you about power cycle very soon. During your power cycle, you repeat it again. New moon, full moon. Anytime you notice that things are being shaky, repeat the ritual. And listen to me, you should have your ancestor veneration day. If you don't know it, create a day for yourself. This day is for my ancestors. My ancestral veneration, to activate all the codes in my genetics that are responsible for abundance, for prosperity, for power, for courage, for protection, for money. Ancestral veneration day. St. Patrick, somebody was sending me something last week. Happy St. Patrick's Day. I said, waiting concern me with St. Patrick. The Irish don't play with it. Please, I don't have any business with St. Patrick. But you see, Africans, they don't have their... it's not demonic. That one is not demonic. St. Patrick's Day is not demonic. But you can't have your own ancestor veneration day. That one is demonic. But you are going to do that. Oluwaseun said his own is on Sundays. You must have a day that you dedicate to celebrating your ancestors. Ancestor Veneration Day. That's that day. Me, I pour libation on my every day. I wake up, even if I don't do anything, I honor my ancestors because their presence alone is courage, is power. Because many of them, there were things that they failed at when they were here. So you are like an embodiment of their uncompleted works, and they want to complete it through you. Those who are in you are greater than those who are in the world. It's the truth. He that is in you, your ancestors, they are greater than he that is in the world. They are greater than all the opposition. And every morning, ancestors, I thank you. Today I'm ready. I'm going. You are with me. We are together. We are doing this work together. It's a collaboration. I'm not alone. There is boldness. There is courage to move. Because your ancestors don't want you to fail. I told someone, I said, the person said his mother is against him. And I said, but your ancestors are not against you. Don't fight your mother. Call on your ancestors. Because your ancestors want you to succeed. Even your mother that is against you now, let her die and become an ancestor. Then she would regret all that and wants to support you. I told you before, when my father died, I spent some time with him, with his corpse in the room. And I said, all the things you did not do when you were in your incarnate existence because of ego and your own struggles, now it is time for you to do it. Now you are seeing clearly now. Now that you have left, your soul has left this dimension. Where you are now you are seeing. They are playing the film of your life to you. And you are saying, I should have done this. That's the way your ancestors are. Come here. Now say after me, I'm not alone. My ancestors are with me. I am not alone. Guiding spirits are with me. I am not alone. My chi is with me. My ori is with me. I'm not alone. I'm not alone. I am not walking through this life alone. I'm not walking alone. I am walking majestically. I'm walking majestically because those who are with me are greater than those who are against me. Those who are with me are more than those who are against me. There's an army of ancestors that is supporting me and pushing me and inspiring me to take the right actions. I go to the right place at the right time. I take the right action. I do the right things at the right time. It's with me. My ancestors are with me. I tap into their glory, their beauty, their abundance. I tap into their intelligence. I tap into their cosmic power. I tap into their splendor, their majesty, their royalty. I tap into it. Some of you came from royalty until they usurped your family and gave it to someone else. Tap into that royalty because it is in your DNA. It's in your genetic code. I tap into that abundance. I tap into that limitless growth, exponential increase. I tap into it. And I begin to see the signs this week. This week, I begin to see the signs. And as I move into a new month of April, for the rest of the year, I'm moving from one level of exponential growth to another. I tap into everything I can leverage on in my ancestry for my growth, for my holistic growth and prosperity. I key into it. Everything good is mine. Everything good is mine. I am not alone. I am not alone. I am not alone. My ancestors are with me. My ancestors are with me. We're going to stop there tonight. Let me quickly make this announcement. The 6th night money manifestation conclave. We have said it. Because you are a subscriber, you are not meant to pay what other people are paying. The 6th day, followed by a 30-day money manifestation challenge, is 195,000. But as a subscriber of Femi Jubal on TikTok, you are going to pay 150,000 naira. You don't want to miss this 6th night money manifestation conclave. I told you, 18 money manifestation rituals. Those are the things we're talking about. 18. How you are going to do it, and then after the 6th night event, we follow it up with a 30-day money manifestation conclave challenge in the Femi Jubal VIP community. You don't want to miss it. If you want to register, it's 195,000, but for you subscribers, it is 150,000. Send a DM or click the link in my bio to do that. For the rest of this year, it is dedicated to only people who have businesses, who want to manifest money, who wants to grow in their business. It is not for anything other than that. So go into your new week and speak into the week because your ancestors are with you. Let mountains melt like wax. Let the crooked places be made straight for you because your ancestors are with you, because you are not alone. 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 So thank you so much, guys. And this video is going to be posted on the subscriber only channel. So make sure you look out for it tomorrow, and then you can rewatch, so you can write down. Some of you are going to start this 9-day ritual this week, some of you next week, but make sure you do this between March and April. Ancestral money ritual. Tap into it and watch how your life begins to shift from where it is right now to where it needs to be. So thank you so much, guys, and have a productive and a blessed week ahead. Thank you so much.